I'm going back to the Suicide Squad, the first movie. David Ayer directed this thing. It was a hit. The reason why we're getting this part 2, but is Warner Brothers making a mistake by not bringing back a Captain Boomerang or a Killer Croc? Is that going to upset some of the fans of the movie? Maybe not so much as like Coy knows a lot about the comics, and we're going to get the sweaties involved here that are loving on the comics here. But what about that movie? Are you upset that we're not getting maybe a return of Captain Boomerang, a return of what's his name? Not the fire guy. What's his name?
Was it Pyro?
I thought it was Pyro.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering.
Slipknot's not making it back.
Yeah, Slipknot, and now we know that Joel Kinnaman, as reported by by THR, that he is not actually going to come back. At least that's what their sources are saying. He won't be coming back in the Suicide Squad. What do you make of all that? Is that going to upset some of the fans of the original movie?
I'm sure everything upsets everyone, right? Nowadays.
Well, it is the internet.
But I think it's more of a case where they want to give James Gunn the leeway to do what he wants and put his stamp on it, because I think with WB, they're finding, okay, they tried to copy Marvel. It didn't really work for them. And what has been working for them is having these director-led individuals, almost standalone, even though the universe is connected, but more standalone movies. Look with what happened with Aquaman and Wonder Woman. So I think in this case, they're like, no, here we go. Let James Gunn do what he wants. I'm sure WB had nothing to do with, I want Polka Dot Man and Rag. You know what I mean? That's not a corporate decision there.
Right.
That's not the sexy choice for those characters. So I think it's what he wants to do, and they're just giving him the leeway because they saw the success that he had with Guardians and with those strange characters, a talking raccoon, a giant, a tree that only says one. You know what I mean? So they're giving him that leeway, and I think it's very interesting because I actually want to kind of see like someone like Jai Courtney come back as Captain Boomerang, because I thought that was his best role outside of what he did in Spartacus. I think in other movies I don't know if he was miscast or the roles weren't right for him. But I would have liked to see him back. Obviously, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, she kind of was the biggest star to come out of Suicide Squad.
Sure. And
so they're definitely going to have her back. But it sounds like more in a minimized role.
Yeah.
And Idris Elba is Deadshot. I love Idris Elba,
Perfect.
so that's fine. Not that I didn't like Will Smith in that role. It's just if he can't do it, whether it's really schedule things or whether he just doesn't want to come back to a franchise that is potentially, rebooting itself. So, interesting choices. Not my choices in terms of characters that I want to see, but we're all trusting that James Gunn knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and I think he does. And again, everybody's going to bring up Guardians. We're looking at that success, transferring over now. He's got the weird characters, but Dennis, you said something interesting. Margot Robbie, is she coming back? Coy, what do you think? The rumor is that she's coming. I know we have Birds of Prey. She's filming that right now. That character lives on in the DC connected universe somehow. But can she make it over to the Suicide Squad? Should she make it over? Because she's a big part of this, and everybody's wondering. We want her. She was very popular. But would that leave open for maybe Captain Boomerang to come back or Killer Croc? And they assemble in there, and we just haven't heard that news yet.
Well, I think what's interesting is like I was saying, the direct parallel of characters. So you've got your Rick Flag, might as well be the Peacemaker, plus the other two I mentioned. So Margot Robbie could be like an opening scene where they have some of the original members of the Suicide Squad, and then Viola Davis has to assemble a new team. Maybe that team's doing other stuff, and she assembles a team. We get an awesome James Gunn montage, cue the music, and the new team would be this team that replaces them for their specific goals. You assemble a team because one's the intelligence, one's the brute strength, one's the blah blah blah. That's all.
Okay, wait. What does Polka Dot Man do?
Polka Dot Man,
like, how does he take down enemies?
I feel like that's going to be our Katana, where she surprises us, or in this case, he surprises us. Katana was this awesome badass that when you see Katana from the comics, you're like, how is that going to translate? I think Polka Dot Man, James Gunn can write so well. That's going to be our weird, like, wait, am I in love with Polka Dot Man? I seriously feel like he's our Katana, where it's going to be the big, like, no way is this working. Wait, do I want to be Polka Dot Man for Halloween? Right. So I feel like they're all going to fill in a certain void, and I feel like with the Rick Flag mirroring Peacemaker. Margot Robbie isn't a direct mirror for any of these, so what they might do is have her in the opening scene, and then she's the third act savior. So you've got the team, and then you've got your highest build stars. You've got your Jennifer Lawrence thing where she's suddenly the lead. You've got Harley Quinn where she's suddenly the lead because it's your bankable star. So I could see her being a savior in the third act, and I could also see. I agree, man. Boomerang was the best I've seen him. So if he comes back as that beer guzzling Wolverine take, I'm all about that. So I can see them bringing the team and kind of doing a mesh at the end, and James Gunn paying reverence. I also got to say, I love that DC's doing the Suicide Squad and the Batman as like, this is the definitive take. We've added the. So I think this is the Suicide Squad, and I want to see this take because it seems very inventive and it seems bold, and it does feel like DC is like, we tried meddling. Here's not meddling. Go nuts.
Yeah, I like the Peacekeeper. I was reading up on him. I'm not familiar with the character, but that he's like a pacifist, but he's an extreme pacifist that's willing to kill for his pacifism.
Which is sometimes what Drax is in certain runs of Guardians. So Batista as that take is such a great direct like use of James Gunn's relationship with him. I love that casting.